Alright, yeah, that's alright.
Leave it like that. Hold it there. I gotta get them to the car.
For the past few weeks, it really does feel like NBA YoungBoy has been set to battle against the entire industry. With every single song that he's been releasing, he's gone from taking shots at King Von to continuing his beef with Lil Durk and leaving money on the floor of his home spelling out how Durk should watch his back. And now there's been a more shocking turn of events, with his home being raided by a SWAT team. So what exactly happened? Why did SWAT raid his home? YoungBoy hasn't necessarily been a stranger to stuff like this though. After all, here's a man who's still on house arrest for what happened back in 2021. Just because he's confined to his home doesn't mean he ain't out looking for trouble. You could tell just from the messages that he's been sending out on Twitter that he means business, especially when it comes to Durk's past comments about his bars. YoungBoy definitely isn't afraid of Durk, given the fact that he tore him and his scene O-Block on Bring the Hook. But things have been getting more heated ever since. While you've had people like Ye and 50 Cent duking it out just to boost sales back in the day for their records, the past few posts on Instagram from YoungBoy have felt real serious, especially when you take it into account the amount of times he's openly threatened Durk. It's not like Durk is one to back down from a fight. He already lost a brother with King Von, and to see someone like YoungBoy tear him to shreds after his passing isn't just going to be glossed over. Since Durk showed his face on Instagram with another message and money on the floor, you could tell that he's not ready to back down just yet. As it turns out, YoungBoy is packing heat at his place. Well, technically, his mom's place. Down in Texas, a raid was made on YoungBoy's house where his mother lives, and ended up seizing many different items. It would be one thing if they were seizing the weapons, but the SWAT team also arrested 3 men on the premises who were linked to YoungBoy in some way. If you're YoungBoy in this situation though, you could pretty much keep quiet. After all, the whole thing went down in Texas and you're being held up in Utah on your home confinement sentence. This may have just been an accident, or it could mean something more raw. Since we don't know why these 3 men were on YoungBoy's property, it's anybody's guess as to what YoungBoy may have wanted to do. Though the court has said that these men were convicted of attempted robbery on YoungBoy's house, this may have just been trying to send a message to YoungBoy by going after his family. Hell, you could even make the argument that this armed robbery wasn't even trying to steal from YoungBoy. It was to give him supplies. You really have to put yourself in YoungBoy's shoes here. If you're heated about this beef with Durk and you have no way to leave your house in Utah, why not just send your boys down to your house to see if they could bring the heat to you instead? If that's the case though, it's still up in the air as to what this means for YoungBoy's sentencing. Here you have a man who was already bouncing off the walls on house arrest, and now he might possibly be sending his friends down to his house. The justice system has been known to crack down on criminals, but there's no telling what will happen if they find out when you're trying to work around your sentencing. It also might not help that some of YoungBoy's lyrics on songs like Bring the Hook and Know Like I Know show that he has some troubling intentions. The law may be able to make claims all they want, but what does the rest of the hip-hop crowd make of all this? From the sounds of the comments on Twitter, it looks like YoungBoy might be facing some hard time, with one fan saying that YB has reached the end of the line because of too much evidence. You've also got a few users saying that the 3 guys who have been arrested should be freed. Even though they may have broken into YB's house, their motive may have just been trying to get what he needed. And if you have someone like YB who asks you to do something, you won't necessarily want to get on his bad side. And if that's the case, these guys are just middlemen who are doing their job. At the same time, you also have Durk fans feeling like they came away with a W here, with one fan saying that YB has finally gotten busted after this past few months. You even got some fans full on celebrating the fact that YB's in hot water right now. He may already be on house arrest, but in the heart of Durk fans, seeing him locked up isn't able to come fast enough. There are some fans that aren't really having a problem with YB, but are having issue with the SWAT team even being there at all. If you got no reason to raid his home and are just deciding to raid for the hell of it, people are wondering whether the SWAT is even doing their job properly. Then again, you have some fans that aren't really leaning one way or another on the matter. If you look at the comments on some of the news stories, you could see that some of these fans are just not caring about the beef anymore. It's no shock as to why either. You've got these 2 guys building themselves up in the press, and it's still anyone's guess as to what they're actually gonna do. And then you have law enforcement coming in to settle everything down. These fans aren't talking about liking YB or Durk's music. They're just so very tired of the feud going left and right. Out of all the players in this game though, it's interesting to see the route that Durk has been taking. Ever since leaving that little trace of money text in his house, Durk hasn't really been saying a whole lot on the matter on his page. Almost all of this beef has been through words so far, and now things are starting to get serious. If anything, Durk might be doing the right thing by keeping his head down low. He might not want to back down from a fight, but he also doesn't want to find himself in a messy situation. But that's all we have for today. What do you guys think on the SWAT team raiding YoungBoy's place? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and let everyone know. Other than that, make sure to keep it tuned in here to RIZZLE so you don't miss out on when the next hip-hop bombshell decides to go off. Catch you later.